So after this, in this unit, we are starting with the financing decisions. That is, what are the various sources of finance, how to combine those sources, in what proportion, so as to form the optimal capital structure for the firm. It should be the best debt to equity ratio for the firm. Okay. Under that, we start with the concept of leverage. What is leverage? What do we understand by this term? Leverage is simply a ratio. Okay. And the literal meaning of the term ratio is that you are exploring a relationship between two variables. So you have a numerator, you have a denominator, and you are exploring how the two variables are interacting with each other, or how are they moving vis-a-vis each other. Okay. So in leverage, what we are seeing the relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable. Independent variable will be in the denominator, while the dependent variable will be in the numerator. Okay. And what we aim, like all our financial management decisions, is to maximize the wealth of the equity shareholders. So whatever decisions we are taking while financing the capital structure, our aim is to maximize the earnings available to the equity shareholders. Okay. So the term leverage is a relationship, as I've explained you, between two interrelated variables. You are seeing the percentage change in the dependent variable because of a change in the independent variable. We'll be covering three types of leverage. First is operating leverage, then financial leverage, and combined leverage. Okay. Operating, financial are two independent concepts, and combined leverage is just the the product of operating leverage and financial leverage. So let's come to the first type of leverage that we cover. It is the operating leverage. It is related to the operating risk or business risk. This leverage is an assessment of the business risk, and operating leverage is use of fixed cost to maximize the effect of change in sales upon change in EBIT. Okay. So before I proceed with the technicalities, just let's revise a concept. By this time, all of you know that sales minus the cost, all the cost, that is your fixed and variable cost, give you the profit before interest and taxes. This is also known as earnings before interest and taxes minus interest gives you the profit before tax, post which we deduct the tax to get profit after tax minus any preference dividend if you are paying, will give you the earnings available to equity shareholders, which then help us come to the EPS, as EPS is earnings available to equity shareholders divided by the number of equity shares. Okay, so when I use the term leverage, when I use the term operating leverage, I am looking for a relationship between these two terms, between sales and EBIT. So, how should I magnify the effect of increase in sales on increase in earnings before interest and taxes. This is operating leverage. Then when I look for a relation between these two variables, this is your financial leverage. How am I magnifying the effect of percentage change in EBIT on profit before tax? Okay, and this measure is known as financial leverage. Now, when I am seeing a cost here, now variable cost is varying with the increase in, say, the production, okay, scale of production. But fixed costs remain the same irrespective of the operational scale you have. Operating leverage will use fixed cost to magnify this effect. That is, for say, for every 1% change in sales, I try to get 2%, 3% increase in EBIT. So how can I use my fixed cost to increase this effect of change in sales? On the other hand, what is financial leverage doing or using? It is using the fixed cost funds. Interest is paid on debentures and loans, and these are the fixed cost funds for the firm. I have explained this concept a number of times that if a firm is using debt judiciously, it can actually increase the earnings of the equity shareholders because interest is tax deductible. Okay, it is a fixed cost for the firm, and if used properly, if the return on investment is more than the cost of debt, you can actually increase the earnings of the equity shareholders by using debt capital in the capital structure of the firm, in the financial structure of the firm. So when we are looking for effect of fixed cost funds, we are seeing how they are helping us increase the profit before tax. That becomes the financial leverage for the firm. And product of these two leverages will give you the combined leverage for the firm. Okay, so this statement should be very clear to everyone. You need to memorize this statement because this will be used in many of the concepts which will follow. Coming back to operating leverage, as I told you, it is the relationship between sales and EBIT and the effect of change in sales revenue over EBIT. Here is the formula for operating leverage. Operating leverage is percentage change in EBIT upon percentage change in sales. Whenever you see percentage change, it is change in EBIT upon EBIT. Okay, so say you are given EBIT for year 1 as 100 and earnings before taxes for year 2 as 150, and you need to calculate the percentage change in EBIT. That will be 50 by 100 into 100, which is a 50% increase in EBIT. So you take the change upon the base, which is 100 here, and you calculate the percentage change in EBIT, and similarly for sales. Now this formula is used when you are given the values for 2 years. Only then can you calculate the percentage change. In case you are given the value for a single year, we use this formula, which is contribution upon EBIT. And what is contribution? It is sales minus variable cost. Get contribution, it is after you decrease it by fixed cost that you get the EBIT. So for a particular year, we use this formula. Else we use the formula which was percentage change in EBIT upon percentage change in sales. Second thing, we say leverage exists only when value of operating leverage is greater than 1. Okay. If you get the ratio equal to 1, it means there is no operating leverage in the firm. It is only when this answer, this value will be greater than 1, will you get operating leverage in your financial structure. You will get the benefit of operating leverage in your financial structure. Okay, so I think we'll come to this slide, the significance of operating leverage. It explains the effect of change in sales on EBIT. Presence of high operating leverage also means that there is more operating risk in the business. What is operational risk? Both micro level risk and macro level risk. So micro level risk is, say, what changes you are bringing in your capital structure, strike by labor unrest, breakdown in operations. All these are operating risks. Okay, at the micro level. At the macro level, you have changes in policies, say implementation of GST, demonetization. All these are changes at the macro level. Any technological change, any political change, economic change, any change in the monetary policy which has an impact on your business. All these become macro level operating risks, and all these are factored in by the operating leverage. So the last point says operating leverage reaches its maximum near the break-even point. What is break-even point?
No profit, no loss point.
No profit, no loss. Absolutely right. So I'll explain this graphically once we cover financial leverage also. Operating leverage is the maximum at this point. Okay. A firm can protect itself from the dangers of operating leverage and the consequent operating risk by operating sufficiently around the break-even point. The firm makes a profit only after the break-even point. Okay, below the break-even point, your expenditure is more than your income. After the break-even point, you are able to cover all your expenditure and you start making profits. So operating leverage as a concept is very close to the break-even point, wherein the firm is able to use the fixed cost, use the cost to its benefit, to its advantage. Okay, so operating leverage is related to the fixed cost of the firm. Examples can be investment in machinery, investment in fixed assets. All these are fixed costs for the firm. So how well are you using these costs to increase the impact of sales on the EBIT of the firm? That is your operating leverage. The second leverage is financial leverage. And as I told you, financial leverage comes from the financial structure of the firm. So operating leverage is related to the investment decisions. How you are investing in fixed cost, how you are managing your how are you investing in fixed assets, managing your fixed cost. Financial leverage is related to the financial structure, financing decision. How are you managing your fixed cost funds? So use of fixed cost funds to increase the earnings of equity shareholders is financial leverage, which we also call as capital gearing or trading on equity. Okay, so firm is using fixed cost funds in the capital structure to magnify the returns to the equity shareholders. This is the formula, percentage change in EPS. EPS is earning per share upon percentage change in EBIT. So you are seeing the impact of change in EBIT upon change in, sorry, percentage change in EPS upon change in EBIT. Again, financial leverage will exist when there is the value of financial leverage is greater than 1. So every leverage is present only when the value you get is greater than 1. So in this, when we were seeing the impact of fixed cost funds, we are using the relationship between EBIT and profit before tax, and then this has a direct impact on this value. Okay, because tax percentage is given to you. It is through the use of fixed cost funds that you are using interest, which is reducing your tax liability and increasing the earnings for the equity shareholders. Okay. So again, this formula will be used when you have data for 2 years. When you have data for a single year, we use this formula, which is EBIT upon EBT. EBT is your earnings before tax or profit before tax. Higher the level of fixed financial charges, higher the level of fixed cost funds, higher would be the financial leverage of the firm. And then the third leverage that we have is the combined leverage, which, as I told you, is multiplication of operating leverage with the financial leverage. You multiply them and you will get the combined leverage of the firm. So if operating leverage this was percentage change in EBIT upon percentage change in sales into percentage change in EPS upon percentage change in EBIT. So when I multiply them, these terms cancel, and you can also get combined leverage as percentage change in EPS upon percentage change in sales. So now you are seeing the impact of every percentage change in sales on the earning per share through the use of combined leverage. Okay, now we come to the practical questions. If there is any question from the theory part, please ask. Any question, anyone? Okay, let's start with the question. The concept will be more clear to you. So, the first question is there on your screens. We have to calculate the degree of operating leverage, financial leverage, and combined leverage for the following firms, and need to interpret the result. You are given the output, fixed cost, variable cost per unit, interest on borrowed funds, and selling price per unit for 3 firms. And on the basis of this data, we need to calculate the leverage, the 3 types of leverage. So I'll start with firm A, and then you can solve for firm B and firm C. So starting with the value of sales 60,000 into 0.60, that is the selling price per unit. You get 36,000 as your sales revenue. So 12,000 will be your variable cost. Gives you the contribution as 24,000 minus the fixed cost 7,000. Profit before tax, interest and taxes 17,000 less the interest on borrowed funds 4,000. This gives you your profit before tax or EBT as rupees 13,000. Similarly, calculate for firm B and C class. Please let me know the values. I need contribution, PBIT and PBT. Please calculate for firm B and C now. So calculate the values for firm A, B and C. I'll just note down the values also. Okay, so 30,500 is your profit before tax for firm B and 6,500 for firm C. I'll also check the answer. Yes, this is correct. Okay, so now you can calculate the leverages for firm B and C. Yes, how much is the leverage? Okay, Jatin has solved. Rest of you also. For firm B, please check the answer. 1.36, 1.26 and 1.72. Is everyone getting this answer for firm B? Okay, so I'll also just note down these values. 0.26, 1.72. For firm C, it is 1.23. 23, I'll write the value here. 1.23. Then, okay, financial leverage is not there. So you're getting a value of 1. You can see in the question also, class. There are no fixed cost funds. So your financial leverage is not there. That is why you are getting a value of 1 in degree of financial leverage, and last combined leverage will hence be 1.23. Okay, now if you have to interpret the results, you can see the riskiest firm out of the three is firm A because operating leverage भी ज़्यादा है और financial leverage भी ज़्यादा है. As a result, the combined leverage is the highest. And the safest firm to invest in is firm C because both the leverages are lowest. In fact, financial leverage is not there, and it is the least risky firm out of the three. There are no fixed cost obligations for the firm. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. Any question in this? Okay, so what we'll do is, I think we'll stop here today.